Alright, so today I'm going to be installing the Ariens non-abrasive skid shoe kit. So essentially, it's this piece right here. There's two of them, one for each side. Comes with new hardware. It's going to be replacing the metal shoe. The reason for that is that this is metal, so that's going to attach. But this is hardened plastic. It's a polymer. So this, in theory, won't scratch my new brick walkway. So that's the primary reason I'm doing it. I don't want to ruin the new bricks. I'm sure the metal probably is fine, but for about $30 for this kit, it's gonna give me some peace of mind. And allegedly, these hardened plastic should last a few years. So I'm gonna give them a whirl. Shouldn't be rocket science. Essentially, where is it? Just need to remove these, pay attention to the orientation and the height and whatnot. Put this on and we'll see how that goes. So what the directions say is position it on a hard flat surface, remove the shoes by removing the hardware, loosely install new skid shoes using mounting hardware supplied with the kit. Do not over tighten until skid shoes have been properly adjusted. To adjust the shoes, insert a spacer of desired thickness under both ends of the scraper blade. Allow 1/8 inch or 3 millimeters between the scraper blade and surface for hard, smooth surfaces. Tighten the hardware. Keep it level by adjusting the shoes equally. So it doesn't tell you that much, so we'll see how it goes. And this is Ariens Deluxe 28, a few years old, but should be good. Just got it prepped for winter, did an oil change. I sprayed some of that lubrication stuff inside the chute so the snow doesn't get stuck. I already did the spark plug fairly recently, so I'm not gonna worry about that this year. And we'll give it a go. All right, so I've moved the machine inside in my shed for now. Just to give you a little closer look, what I'll be doing is I have a 14 millimeter socket. I'm gonna be loosening this. Once I get that on there. Actually, I may need a deep socket. Yeah, I'm gonna need a deep socket to get this off. Luckily, I think I have them. But anyways, the inside, there is no nut. It's kind of like, I don't know the proper name of the screw or bolt. I guess it's just a bolt with nothing to grab onto. So here and here are the corresponding. So I need to go grab a deep socket and I'll be right back. All right, so I grabbed the 14 millimeter deep impact, or excuse me, deep socket here, and you can see this. So, just loosening this, both of these 14 millimeter. Not much is happening on the inside. Lovely. Jeez. All right, so my problem right now is that there's nothing that I'm aware of to, I don't know how to grip this and keep this steady from the inside while I try to get the bolt from the outside. Not real certain of what the deal is here. All right, so I think I have a solution. So I'm using that 14mm extension, and I'm using a pair of big extended pliers, I guess you'd call these things, and I'm gripping on to that bolt that I just showed you while I'm wrenching this. So I think, and I also hit it with some PV Blaster, but we should be making progress. Hopefully. So this one, I'm just holding it inside with my hand. I got a washer, nut, and the bolt totally out. So that one worked. Let's see if I can replicate it by holding it with my hand on the inside instead of the wrench. Nope. That sucks. I think it's because this bolt is like kind of, I don't know, something's bent. This sucks. Not good. See if I have my hacksaw. Alright, well, I'm going to be using this, I believe it's a hacksaw. The tip says it's a Stanley carbon steel. We'll see if I can cut this. Damn. I gotta extend it. Alright, so I just extended this a little bit. I'm just gonna try to cut this bolt off. See if I can do that. I think it's working. Shit, I think it's working. Damn it. So right now I'm using a heat gun that gets bright red. Trying to loosen this up a little bit. Alright, stepping up the big boys, gonna use the grinding wheel. Got it. Jeez, Benny. Ow! All right. Stinks. So, ow! Damn it. Well, I got the stock shoe off. Not the simplest project so far. So it didn't damage the machine, it just got some nicks on the inside of the shoe. Nothing too crazy here. So I suppose I should, while I have it in this position, take care of one of the new shoes and see how that goes. The guy at the shop was telling me, essentially, it's gonna be like this. So I'm putting it the flat side against the machine, which makes sense, pretty obvious. Just make sure I get all the dirt and crap out. And see what happens. Ah, damn. So I should have 2 bolts. Oh, yeah, so technically these bolts, if you can see, the inside has a little square, and these are squares down here on these holes, but they're not perfect, I suppose. So that could have led to some of my issues. Meaning, if the square became a hole, it's not gonna truly lock and give you the ability to get it out from the inside. So that's kind of what I was up against, I think. So 2 bolts, 2 nuts, 2 washers. Make sure I have enough left over for round 2, which I do. So put that aside. And essentially, again, this is 2 pieces. The hardened plastic, the hardened plastic here, and the metal here. So the metal fits into the plastic. Like, there's only one way to do it. There's no up or down, it doesn't really matter. Ariens, made in Canada. Yeah. So I suppose I'll do it the same way they had it done, with the bolts from the inside, pushing it out. Right, so that goes there. That goes there. And then there's plenty of room to maneuver this thing. But for now, I'll put the washer on. Washer on. And then start threading these. This one on the back facing the machine, facing it closer to the engine. I'm gonna definitely take a look before I tighten anything down too hard. It doesn't appear that the bolt's very long, which may or may not be an issue. I'm not sure yet. So again, this is a 14 millimeter. Yeah, that should be fine. I'm just gonna get it somewhat snug for now. I'm gonna do a zoom in right now. Again, you basically, the metal you can see here is essentially keeping the plastic on. So washer, bolt coming through, and the nut, and then the inside, it's looking just like stock essentially. Bolt 1 here, bolt 2 there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side there. We'll see how everything's sitting and give it a test ride. All right, so I pretty much have this wrapped up here. Just wanted to show you the outdoors, what it looks like. So that's kind of the height I'm rocking. That I'm using. So this essentially is lifting the bottom edge as well as the scraper, which is this bar here. So that scraper bar, I have 2 little shims essentially, one there and one there as I was tightening it, because that's the spacing I wanted to get it off of the ground, basically so it wouldn't hit a lip of a brick and break it apart. So I can live with a little tiny little bit of snow that I can later use a shovel or something to clear it for the final prep. So I basically had the same size wedges or shims, and essentially with the shim there, push this down till it's flat on the surface. So it has the same height as the other side. Tighten it down. Again, just to remember, inside these bolts here, there is that little square pattern that if you're messing with it, you want to make sure it's in there securely, especially if you're trying to remove a bolt. That the square essentially is what's going to help you remove it. As long as it's in there, you should be good. So if I move the machine, if I just scoot it forward off the blocks, you can see what I'm talking about. So right now, where I'm off the blocks, you can, if I get down on the ground here, you can see that's essentially maybe a 1/4 inch gap or so, just enough that I think will be good. We'll see how it works. I can always easily adjust it now. But all in all, I did have that one little issue with the bolt that seized on me that I had to grind off, the old one. But the new ones are pretty simple to install. Again, I have the 14 millimeter long socket, and actually you may not even need a long socket for these ones. I think you can get away with a standard socket. You need the long one to remove the stock bolts, because those are in fact longer. All right guys, I'll wrap it up. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you like this video, if it helped you out, feel free to give me a thumbs up. Please check out my other snowblower videos. I have lots of tips: how to do an oil change, spark plug change, tune it up, how to adjust your chute, how to use chemicals so the snow doesn't build up there. So, all right guys, have a great day. See ya.